What if I told you that the man who built a multi-million-dollar empire from rusty metal and roaring engines was systematically betrayed by the very people he trusted most? Richard Rawlings didn't just lose a TV show, he lost his best friend, his business partners, and nearly his entire legacy to 4 devastating betrayals that would make your blood boil. I've spent months digging through court documents, insider interviews, and behind-the-scenes footage that Discovery Channel never wanted you to see. What I discovered will completely change how you view Fast and Loud forever. By the end of this video, you'll understand why Richard walked away from millions of dollars, and why he says it was the best decision he ever made. For over a decade, Fast and Loud dominated Discovery Channel, turning Richard Rawlings into a household name and Gas Monkey Garage into an automotive empire. But behind the cameras, a different story was unfolding, one of broken trust, calculated deception, and corporate control that would ultimately destroy everything Richard had built. Today, I'm revealing the 4 biggest betrayals that nearly brought down the Gas Monkey empire. We'll explore Aaron Kaufman's shocking departure that blindsided Richard, the staged drama that fooled millions of fans, the restaurant disasters that cost him over $1 million, and the Discovery Channel contract that Richard calls a golden cage. These aren't just business disputes, they're personal betrayals that cut deep into the heart of what Richard thought was his family. Get ready for revelations that will make you question everything you thought you knew about reality TV. The first betrayal cut the deepest because it came from the person Richard trusted most, Aaron Kaufman, the bearded genius who turned scrap metal into automotive art. But this wasn't just about creative differences, it was about the slow, painful destruction of a friendship that millions of viewers thought was unbreakable. Picture this. It's 2016, and Aaron Kaufman is working 110 hours a week, literally falling asleep inside the cars he's building while cameras roll. The pressure is crushing him, but he's not just tired, he's creatively dying. Every project has to fit into a neat TV package, find a car, fix it fast, flip it for profit. But Aaron's vision was bigger, more complex, more artistic than what television could contain. The breaking point came when Aaron wanted to build an eco-boosted De Tomaso Pantera, a project that would require months of meticulous work and cutting-edge engineering. The network said no, too complex, too time-consuming, too risky for ratings. That's when Aaron realized he wasn't a craftsman anymore. He was just another cog in the reality TV machine. But here's what Richard never saw coming. Aaron had been planning his exit for over a year. While Richard thought they were building something together, Aaron was quietly setting up Arclight Fabrication, his own shop where he could finally build the cars he dreamed of. The betrayal wasn't just leaving, it was the deception. The months of pretending everything was fine while secretly preparing to walk away. When Aaron finally dropped the bombshell in 2017, Richard was devastated.
You know, I don't think so. I've got some things I've been wanting to do for a while, and we've been building cars, we've been really busy. There's definitely a different direction I want to go, and here I just can't do both.
It came completely out of left field, Richard later admitted, his voice cracking with emotion. But Aaron's response revealed the depth of the rift. I reached a tipping point where the kind of cars I wanted to build were too difficult for TV. The real betrayal, Aaron never gave Richard a chance to fight for him. No negotiation, no compromise, no attempt to find a middle ground. He simply decided that his artistic integrity was worth more than their friendship, leaving Richard to face the cameras alone and explain to millions of fans why the heart and soul of Gas Monkey Garage had just walked out the door. The aftermath was brutal. Ratings plummeted, fan loyalty wavered, and Richard had to rebuild his entire operation while pretending everything was fine. Aaron went on to star in his own shows, shifting gears, and Aaron needs a job, proving he could succeed without Richard, a fact that stung more than any public criticism ever could. The second betrayal was perhaps the most calculated and cynical of all, a carefully orchestrated deception that turned loyal employees into unwitting actors in a corporate drama designed to manipulate viewers' emotions and expand Richard's television empire. Tom Smith and Jordan Butler weren't just employees. They were fan favorites, the lovable underdogs who brought humor and heart to Gas Monkey Garage. Their sudden firing in a dramatic on-screen confrontation shocked viewers and seemed to prove that Richard was a ruthless boss who would sacrifice anyone for his business. The official story was simple. Tom and Jordan were chronically late, their work performance was declining, and Richard had finally had enough. The cameras captured their shocked faces as they were escorted out, their dreams apparently crushed by an unforgiving boss. Fans were outraged, social media exploded with criticism, and Richard appeared to be the villain in his own show. But TMZ revealed the truth that changed everything. The real incident involved Tom and Jordan allowing a fan to photograph Richard's precious Rolls-Royce without permission. When confronted by management, they reportedly told their supervisor to chill the F*** out. A moment of defiance that sealed their fate. They were fired within hours, not for poor performance, but for disrespecting authority. Here's where the betrayal gets truly twisted. The entire sequence was likely planned from the beginning. Within weeks of their firing, Tom and Jordan were starring in Misfit Garage, a spin-off show that positioned them as the scrappy underdogs taking on their former boss. The narrative was perfect, too perfect. The smoking gun, Richard Rawlings, was secretly an executive producer of Misfit Garage, and the landlord of their new shop, Fired Up Garage, while viewers watched what they believed was a genuine rivalry between two competing garages. Richard was pulling the strings behind both shows, controlling storylines, budgets, and even which cars were featured. Tom Smith later admitted that getting fired was the best thing that ever happened to me, a statement that makes perfect sense when you realize the whole thing was orchestrated to launch his new career. The betrayal wasn't against Tom and Jordan. It was against the millions of viewers who invested their emotions in what they believed was real drama.
I had so much fun, and we made a movie by watching a movie. There was no script, there was no nothing. It said, watch this movie, and you better know every last part of it.
This calculated deception revealed Richard's true genius and his moral flexibility. He understood that conflict drives ratings, that viewers love an underdog story, and that manufactured drama could be more profitable than genuine relationships. He turned his own employees into competitors, his garage into a launching pad for rival shows, and his fans into unwitting participants in an elaborate business strategy. The real victims were the viewers who believed they were watching authentic workplace dynamics when they were actually consuming carefully crafted corporate entertainment designed to maximize profit across multiple television properties. The third betrayal came from an unexpected source: Richard's own business partners in his restaurant ventures, who systematically destroyed the Gas Monkey brand while enriching themselves at his expense. This wasn't just a business failure, it was a calculated assault on everything Richard had built. Richard's vision extended far beyond custom cars. He saw Gas Monkey as a lifestyle brand that could dominate multiple industries. In 2013, he opened Gas Monkey Bar and Grill in Northwest Dallas, followed by locations at DFW Airport and Gas Monkey Live, a music venue. These weren't just restaurants. They were temples to the Gas Monkey lifestyle, designed to immerse fans in Richard's world of fast cars, cold beer, and rock music. But his partners had different plans. In early 2019, Richard discovered that Gas Monkey Bar and Grill had partnered with a whiskey brand and promoted it across social media, using his carefully cultivated brand image without his knowledge or approval. This wasn't just a business decision, it was theft of his intellectual property and a violation of everything they had agreed upon. The betrayal deepened when Richard learned about the lewd events being hosted at his establishments. These inappropriate gatherings directly contradicted the family-friendly brand he had spent years building. Imagine discovering that your own business partners were using your name and reputation to promote activities that could destroy everything you'd worked for. The financial betrayal was equally devastating. Richard's partners had stopped paying licensing fees for using the Gas Monkey name while continuing to profit from his brand recognition. They were essentially getting a free ride on his fame while he received nothing in return, a betrayal that cut to the core of basic business ethics. But the damage went deeper than money. In 2015, Gas Monkey Bar and Grill was caught in a Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission sting operation for selling cheap liquor at premium prices. A deceptive practice that directly damaged Richard's reputation for quality and authenticity. His partner's corner-cutting and unethical behavior was destroying the trust he had built with his audience. The situation became so toxic that Richard was forced to sue his own partners for $1 million, a legal battle that consumed time, money, and emotional energy while publicly airing the dysfunction within his business empire. The lawsuit revealed the extent of the betrayal: unpaid fees, unauthorized partnerships, brand misuse, and activities that directly contradicted his values. By 2019, Richard reached a settlement, and his partners agreed to remove all Gas Monkey branding, renaming the establishment Amplified Live. But the damage was done. Richard closed Gas Monkey Live in 2020 and shuttered Richard Rawlings' Garage in 2019, effectively abandoning his restaurant empire after years of betrayal and mismanagement by the very people he had trusted to expand his brand. The lesson was brutal.
So, welcome to the worst view of my restaurant. Right now, we're fixing to change all that.
Success attracts opportunists who will use your name, your reputation, and your hard-earned brand equity to enrich themselves while leaving you to deal with the consequences of their poor decisions and unethical behavior. The fourth and final betrayal was the most devastating because it came from the very entity that had made Richard Rawlings a global star, Discovery Channel. This wasn't just a business dispute. It was a systematic attempt to control every aspect of Richard's life, career, and public persona through a contract so restrictive it amounted to corporate slavery. The revelation came during Richard's appearance on Joe Rogan's podcast in December 2020, where he finally exposed the truth about his Discovery Channel contract. The most shocking detail was a clause that fined him $25,000 for every negative comment he made about the network. Imagine being unable to speak freely about your own career, your own experiences, or your own frustrations without facing massive financial penalties. This wasn't just about money, it was about fundamental human freedom. Richard couldn't start his own podcast, couldn't criticize production decisions, couldn't even express dissatisfaction with storylines without risking bankruptcy-level fines. The network had effectively purchased his voice, his opinions, and his right to self-expression. The exclusivity clause was equally suffocating. Richard was contractually prohibited from working with other networks, starting competing shows, or pursuing business ventures that might conflict with Discovery's interests. While other entrepreneurs were free to explore opportunities and build their empires, Richard was trapped in what he called a golden cage, financially rewarding but creatively and personally imprisoning. The betrayal became clear when Richard realized that Discovery viewed him not as a partner but as property. They owned his image, controlled his narrative, and dictated his professional future. Every decision about Fast and Loud was made in corporate boardrooms where Richard's input was secondary to network priorities and advertising revenue. The breaking point came when Richard wanted to expand his brand beyond television. He had ideas for podcasts, digital content, and business ventures that could have taken Gas Monkey Garage to new heights. But Discovery's contract made these dreams impossible, forcing him to choose between financial security and personal freedom. The decision to walk away from Fast and Loud wasn't just brave, it was revolutionary. Richard chose to sacrifice guaranteed millions and global fame for the right to control his own destiny. He understood that true success means owning your brand, your voice, and your future, even if it means starting over from scratch. The aftermath proved his wisdom. Richard's YouTube channel exploded in popularity. His podcast Monkey Trap gave him the platform he'd always wanted, and he regained complete creative control over his content. He could finally speak freely, pursue passion projects, and build his empire on his own terms.
Rehab. Over the last season, you've seen me take these shops. Guys and gals have allowed me to come in and revamp their business and get them on the road to profitability and success.
But the betrayal left scars. Richard discovered that years of television fame had typecast him in the public mind. Every interview returned to Fast and Loud, every business venture was compared to his TV success, and breaking free from that identity proved more challenging than building it in the first place. Richard Rawlings' journey from automotive entrepreneur to television star to independent content creator is ultimately a story about the price of success and the courage required to reclaim your freedom. Each betrayal taught him valuable lessons about trust, control, and the difference between genuine partnership and exploitation. Kaufman's departure showed him that creative differences can destroy even the strongest friendships when communication breaks down. The staged drama with Tom and Jordan revealed his own capacity for manipulation in service of business goals. The restaurant disasters taught him that expanding too quickly without proper oversight invites opportunists who will exploit your brand. And Discovery Channel's restrictive contract demonstrated that fame without freedom is just another form of prison. Today, Richard continues building his empire on his own terms. His YouTube channel thrives with authentic content, his podcast gives him the voice he was denied for years, and his car collection remains a testament to his passion for automotive excellence. He's proven that walking away from guaranteed success to pursue genuine freedom isn't just possible, it's essential for long-term happiness and authentic achievement. moment. The real lesson from Richard's story isn't about the betrayals he faced, but about his refusal to remain a victim of them. He chose freedom over security, authenticity over fame, and personal integrity over corporate profits. In a world where many entrepreneurs sell their souls for success, Richard Rawlings bought his back. What shocked you most about these betrayals? Have you ever had to choose between financial security and personal freedom in your own career? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one and respond to as many as I can. If this deep dive into the real story behind Fast and Loud opened your eyes to how reality TV really works, make sure you're subscribed, because in the next video I'm exposing the shocking truth behind another automotive empire that's been hiding secrets for decades. You won't want to miss it.